Hey guys, Joshua Neal here, and today you are the driver, you own the road. And that means we're looking at Stand Up and Shout by Dio. Remember, if you enjoy the lesson, please click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions, as well as requests for songs you'd like me to do. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. And as always, grab that full note and tab transcription down in the box so that you can follow along at home. Alright, let's get to it. Before we get started, we'll need to tune our bass. Now, Dio is tuned in standard tuning on this song, so we don't have to do anything special. You just need an E, an A, a D, and a G. I'm using a pick on this one because that's what Jimmy Bain uses, but you could definitely do this one with your fingers. It's not that fast. Although if you want that really bright forward attack on your tone, on your strings, you're going to want to use a pick on this one. I also think it makes it easier, but either way, pick or fingers, you can do what you wish. We're going to have 4 bars up front where it's just the guitar, and then the bass comes in with the drums doing those catches. That's going to be all on the 5th fret of the E string and the 4th fret of the E string. That's going to look like... So that's on beat 2, you're going to hit the 5th fret. The and of 3, you're going to hit the 5th fret again. Next measure, beat 1, 5th fret. And then the and of 2, you're going to hit the 4th fret. And you're going to let that ring for an additional 2 beats. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Lines right up with the drums, so if you're having trouble counting the rhythm, just listen to those hits in there and you'll be okay. We rest for a measure, then we go up to the 8th fret and we're going to play this riff. So that's 8th fret, 7, 5, and then 5th fret on the A. And then 3 more of those. It goes 1 and 2 and 4 and. From there, we're down to the 5th fret of the E string, and we're just cranking away on that for 3 measures. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do that 8, 7, 5 riff again. 7, 5, 5 in the A. Next time through, starting on the 5th fret, we're going to play a full measure of 8th notes on the 5th fret of the E string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now in the next measure, 1 and 2. On the and of 2, you're going to switch to the 4th fret. You're going to hit that on the upbeat of 2 and then and 4 and. Those are the beats there. So that would be on the 5th fret, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 4th fret and 4 and. Back to the 5th fret, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we got these little 2/4 bars that pop up all over the song. 8, 7, 5 up to the 5th fret of the A string, and you're going to hold that for 8 total counts. You can hear the drummer counting off with his foot on the hi-hat, so just follow that. Be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're into the verse at that point. So that whole intro, when the time actually kicks in, this is the 2nd line of the transcription, measure 9, starting on the 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're into the verse. Each verse is a little bit different, but I'll break each one down as we get to it. This first verse is really, really close to the intro that we just played. You're going to have 3 measures on the 5th fret of the E string. Just playing 8th notes there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You're going to do that 8, 7, 5. Then you're going to do the 5th fret to the 4th fret part of the riff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4th fret, 5, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7, 5, 5. That'll be your first time through it. Second time through, going to be much the same. right here, we're going to do the 8-7-5 riff, but we're going to change it just a little bit. It'll be 8-7-5, still on the E string, 5th fret on the A, 5th fret again on the A, quick grab on the 5th fret of the E string, right back to the 5th fret on the A string, and then you're going to finish out with and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 4. You're going to hop back down to the 5th fret of the E string, and that's what's going to lead us into the pre-chorus. But before I do that, I'm going to go back through that second ending. This is the ending right before we go into the pre-chorus. 8-7-5-5, 5-5-5, and 2 and 3 and 4, 5th fret on the E. And that takes us into the first pre-chorus. It actually starts on that 5th fret, the and of 4 in the previous measure. But that whole riff is going to look like... So we're starting on that 5th fret there on the and of 4. Be and of 4, and 2 and 3 and 4, up to the 7th fret of the A on the and of 4. And 2 and 3 and 4, back to the 5th fret on the E. And 2 and 3 and 4, 8th fret this time on the A string. And 2 and 3 and 4, back to the 5th fret. And 2 and 3 and 4. Now we got this cool little blues scale riff that we get to do. Quick hop to the 10th fret on the A string, and it'll be 10th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret on the E. We're going to do that again. 10th fret on the A, 8th fret, 10th fret on the E, and then back to the 10th fret on the A, 8th fret, 10 on the E, 9, 8, and 6. That goes 10, 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, 9, 8, 6. And that'll take us into the chorus. So that whole pre-chorus again looks like 5, 7 on the A, 5, 8 on the A, 5, there we go. 10, 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, 9, 8, 6. And this lines up right with the guitar right there. It's also fun to play. Moving on into the first chorus. Looks a lot like the first verse, except there's a couple little variations. If you're covering this with your band, you can do the little variations, but they definitely weren't planned. They were just something that Jimmy Bain threw in there instinctively. So if you want to just ignore them, you can do that, but I'm going to show them to you anyway. We're on the 5th fret again, 5th fret of the E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and we're going to go right to the 4th fret for this one. We're not going to just hang out on the 5th fret like we did before. 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4, and here it comes in this measure, starting on the 5th fret, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right here, he grabs the open E string as he transitions up to the 8-7-5 riff. So that's 5, 2, 3, 4, oh. You go back, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, you're going to grab the 4th fret of the E string real quick. Instead of the open E string, which we did in the last rotation, you're going to grab the 4th fret. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, right on the 4th fret there. And then the 8-7-5 riff. And the only difference here is he doesn't do that little tie in the middle of the bar. It's just 8, 7, 5, 5, 1, and 2, and, or 3 and 4, and. If you want to play that part the exact same way as well, you can do that just like that, like we usually do. The second verse is a lot like the first verse, except we don't hang out on the 5th fret for the first and the third time. We're always going to do the 5th fret to the little 4th fret pickup that we were doing before. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 8, 7, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, and 3, and 4. So that ending is exactly the same. 8, 7, 5, 5, 5, 5 on the E, 5 on the A, and 2, and 3, and 4. From there we go right into the second pre-chorus. It's exactly the same as the first pre-chorus. That part. So I'm not going to talk about it. We move right into the second chorus, which looks like the first chorus, except for the little variations in there. There's one that we got to watch out for. First time through is the way you would normally think to play it. 5, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the second time here. Right before we do the 8-7-5 riff, we're going to throw in a quick open E just to transition to that riff. So that looks like 2, 3, 4, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and right there, and then do the 8-7-5-5, and just like we did in the intro, we're gonna hold this 5th fret of the A string for 8 counts. Again, you can hear the drummer keeping time with his foot on the hi-hat, so that'll help you line it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we go into the solo, and that is mostly going to be based around the B, which is the 7th fret of the E string. We were based around A on the 5th fret, now we're going to be based around the 7th fret B right here. Very, very similar, again, to the other parts, except we've just changed keys a little bit. We're going to start on the 7th fret here in the E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then 5th fret of the A string, and a 3, and a 4, and then we're going to go back to the 7th fret of the E string, and that'll be on the and of 1. 1, 2, 3. Same rhythm here, except it's going to be this 5th fret of the E string instead. And. So a lot of offbeats in this entire song, but especially in this part. So far in the solo, we've got 7th fret of the E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That was 5 on the E string that time. Third time through the riff, it's going to be the 5 and 5 on the A string. And then the 4th time through, slight variation, looking at measure 69. We've just done the second time. We're starting on the and of 1 with the 7th fret there. Right here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go down to the 5th fret of the E string. We're going to play and of 3, 4, and then and of 4. So instead of, we go. So just a little bit different. I'll go back and play through this whole thing after I've finished breaking it down, just so you can see how it puts together. Next we've got the 5 and 5 on the A string. Then we've got it on the E string. A string again. Then right here, 1, 2, 3, 6th fret for 2 hits, and then big hit on the 5th fret of the E. And I'll finish this out after I go back and break down the whole solo. So far, up to that point in the solo, starting on the 7th fret, we've got 1, 5s on the A, 5s on the E, 5s on the A, little difference. That was on the E string, on the A, back on the E, A string, and right here, 6, 6, 5. Continuing on there, we've got a lot of 5th fret on the E string. We're going to hang out on that for almost 4 bars. So we just did the and a 4 there, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and up to the 5th fret of the A. So it's kind of like the 8-7-5 riff, except we didn't do 8 or 7. We just did all 5s. Then we are back to what would be considered a normal verse or chorus riff. 5, 3, 4, 1, and on 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7, 5, 5. And that takes us right into the 3rd verse, which has one little variation again. It's like the chorus that led right into the solo. You're going to do an open E string the 2nd time through before you do the 8-7-5 riff. So just so that's not confusing, I'll play the whole 3rd verse, starting on the 5th fret of the E string. 2, 3, 4, 1, 4th fret, 5, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 5 on the E, 3, 1, and on 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, open E, then 8, 7, 5, 5. Just like we normally do to get into a pre-chorus. That goes into the last pre-chorus, which is twice as long as the other pre-choruses, so it has one extra little variation that we do, and then it's, the ending is also a little bit different, but most of it's the same. You're still on the 5th fret, going 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 10. So just to start it off, 7 on the A, 5 on the E, 8 on the A, 5, 10. So right there is where it's different. You don't go right into the blues scale riff. You do the 10th fret the way you would do the other ones. And 2, and 3, and 4. Now here's the little bass run that we get to do. It's all upbeats. It's all up picks if you're using a pick. 5th fret on the E string, 7, 8, 5, 5th fret on the A, and then you finish it out, and that'll take you to start the pre-chorus riff over again. So that was 5, 7, 8, 5, 5 on the A, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5 on the E, and we start over. Back to the 7, 5 on the E, 8 on the A, 5 on the E, and right here we go back to that blues scale riff. 10, 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, 9, 8, 6. And right here we're going to hold this for 8 additional counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to hit the 5th fret of the E string and we're going to slide. Just slide away into nothing. So after that slide, we're going to rest for 2 measures, and then we're going to go back to that 8-7-5 riff. So from the slide, we've got 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And that takes us into the outro, which is basically just a chorus, but with some little variations. The first time through the riff, you're going to hang out on the 5th fret of the E string. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to grab the 4th fret of the E string, and then you're going to do the 8-7-5 riff. And that's the first time. The next 5 times, you're going to do the 5 to 4, that upbeat of 4 that we usually do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 5, 2, 3, 4. You're still going to do that quick 4. So that all together, that second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth time, it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. You play that 5 times, and then the final time through is going to be like the other times through, except it's going to end a little bit different. 5, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth fret real quick, like usual. 8, 7, 5, 5. Kind of like we're going into coming out of the intro, we're going into the solo where we held on to that 5th fret on the A string, except it's not a official number of counts. It would use what's called a fermata, which means that you hold the note for longer than it's normally written, or for an amount of time to be determined by the conductor or the band leader, where they would cue you in to the next one. Now, since we're not in the room with Dio and Jimmy Bain and Vivian Campbell, this part of the song is almost impossible to nail perfectly with the recording. If you're playing it with your band, you just maintain eye contact with each other, make sure that you change chords at the right time. But for playing it with the recording, you just kind of have to do your best and know that it's not going to be absolutely perfect. So don't even worry about it. Very last line of the song, 8, 7, 5, 5. You're going to hold that for an unspecified amount of time. Then you're going to go to the 8th fret of the E string. You're going to hold that for an unspecified amount of time. Another fermata. Then we're going to hit the 5th fret. This is basically the end of the song. 5th fret of the E string, you're going to hit it. And those 3 lines mean to do it as a tremolo, which if you're using a pick, means to go like this. While everybody else is going crazy around the drums and the guitar solo, you're just cranking away on the 5th fret. At a certain point, you kind of slow down and stop, and then everybody hits the 5th fret and slides down. And that's it. There it is, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, be sure to click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions you may have, as well as requests for songs you'd like me to do. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. And if you haven't done it yet, grab that full note and tab transcription down in the box so that you can follow along at home. And until next time,